Welcome to Conversations with Chosen Pen, the podcast that amplifies the voices of authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs. Be sure to like, comment, and share. And thank you for being a part of the conversation.
Great Tuesday, everybody. It's Dr. Anissa Short with Conversations with Chosen Pen. Listen, a big shout out to Mr. Earl Hall. He is one of our #1 supporters. I would not be able to do some of the things that I do if it were not for him, and he's responsible for that intro. So if you're looking for someone to provide you with some media, audio, intros, outros, voiceovers, he is the one to call. So thank you again, Earl, for your assistance. As always, on Tuesday, you guys, I have another group of phenomenal women. I have been, well, I guess I shouldn't say phenomenal women. Well, I do, because that's all I talk to most of the time. Every now and then a man will slip in. But today is no different than any other Tuesday. So as you guys know, Chosen Pen, the Chosen Pen Group is a hybrid publishing company. And one of the things that we endeavor to do in working with our clients is providing them a platform so that we can celebrate their successes and have an opportunity to talk with them about their books and their projects, whether they be an author, speaker, entrepreneur, it all counts. And so for the last few weeks, really for probably about 12 weeks now, I've been talking with authors, and today is no different. The only difference about today, unlike the previous weeks, is, as you can see, it's 6 of us on the screen. We like the Brady Bunch, right? We're like the Brady Bunch squares. So all of these ladies were a part of an anthology project. And if you guys are familiar with the literary world, an anthology is simply a co-author project. Each person brought their individual stories to make up the whole. And Dr. Terri Hunt is the lead on this project. You guys know Dr. Terri. She's been around over and over again. So just to give you some back history, Dr. Terri and I met in 2023 when she contacted Chosen Pen and published her first book, actually a book and a journal to accompany it. It became an Amazon bestseller. And by the time we got it settled and the dust settled, she goes, I got another project I want to work on, but this time I want to bring people on board with me. And I was like, really? And so that ended up being the end result of that decision is what we're going to discuss today. So Dr. Terri, thank you again for hanging out with me in this space. Thank you so much for trusting Chosen Pen with all of the excitement that you bring to the table. Tell us a little bit about this book, the thought behind the book first.
Well, the book is called Whispering of the Righteous. Prayers of the Righteous Avail It Much. God gave me this book about how God never changes. We change, but God don't change. And I decided to reach out to my friends because they all were going through something, had been through something. And I told them this would be your opportunity to tell your story. Tell them how God worked through your prayers and brought you out of that situation. And oddly enough, everybody was on board. I didn't have to twist their arms when I explained to them what I was trying to do, what I wanted, what I needed. Everybody just said yes. And for that, I'm grateful and thankful, you guys.
Yeah. And because you offered and extended the opportunity, I have I now know more faces or know more people. One of the beautiful things I say about this publishing space, and my mantra is that your voice has value. Oftentimes what we can do is go through life challenges or, I should say seasons of life. Life happens to all of us and we get through it and we don't really know sometimes how much, if we were to share that story, it will make a difference in someone else's life. I share that your voice has value and that your story matters. Another thing that I emphasize, and you've heard me say this also, Dr. Terri, because in working with you, I just believe God in his word. He says you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Right. And the more we share our story, we not only heal from within, but we help others heal and we give others hope. Tell me a little bit about each one of these guests. Now, this is not all. It was a total of 10, you guys. But this is a representation of the whole. Dr. Terri, introduce us to your co-authors. Let us know who they are and how you know them.
Well, my first one is Dorothy. Say hi, Dorothy.
Hi.
Dorothy and I worked together. She came on while I was teaching at the school, and I happened to be the one to work with her, to train her. And y'all, she's an awesome teacher. I mean, she just one of the old teachers that teach from the heart, and teach with a purpose, not about the check, but about the purpose. And I love her for that. And then we have Vonnie. Vonnie was my insurance lady for many years, and we stayed friends. I don't meet people and throw them away. I meet them and I keep them. And then, of course, Mary and I have been. I met Mary on my very first job when I came to Memphis, and she hung in there and been riding with me and rolling with me for over 40 years. And then I have Daisy. Daisy is a best friend to my cousin in love. Her husband is my first cousin, and that's Dr. Wanda. You'll get to hear from her later on. But that's how I met Daisy. I met Daisy through Dr. Wanda. And all these experiences has been awesome and amazing. These are an amazing set of women, and I wouldn't take nothing for them.
Thank you so much for introducing us to your friends, to your tribe. So here's what I want to know from you ladies. I don't know, I think I may be wrong, so correct me if I am, but I believe this is probably the first opportunity of all of you to be a part of a literary project where you actually had maybe Dr. Daisy, you may have, I can't remember, but this is your first time. So tell us, give us your feedback. What has it been like for you? What have you enjoyed about being a part of this project? Let's start with you, Miss Dorothy.
I've enjoyed that I got a chance to tell my story, or just a portion of my story. And people that I've met, and telling it to them, it made a difference in their lives. So I wanted to be a part of this, put it in writing.
That's good. Mission accomplished. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Viney, what about you?
Well, for me, it has just been a joy to do this. I put it on Facebook that it wasn't on my radar to be an author, but when Terri asked, I said, you know what, Lord, you put us together for a reason. 13 years ago, I came out in the rain for the birthday party, only to find out, there was something else going on. And so it has just been very exciting to me to just, to be able to put just a little bit about, my life and how I believe in God. So it's been very exciting for me to be able to put it in writing.
All right, Miss Daisy, you're next. What about you?
It's been very exciting for me, Dr. Short. Not only just exciting, but it's been such a pleasure because it actually awakened something on the inside of me that had been instilled within me for a long time. And so just being able to put the pieces together was just awesome.
That's good. I love it. Thank you so much. And I love that. You said it awakens something in you. We have gifts and talents sometimes we bury, or we don't see them in the same light as other people. And sometimes it's projects like this that bring them, that make you that pushes you to use them, whether you want to or not. Sometimes I can speak for myself, I guess. Whether I wanted to or not, I ended up having to use them. All right, Miss Mary, last but certainly not least, tell us a little bit about what this has been like for you.
It's been a very positive adventure for me because I've always wanted to write a book. In fact, I have a manuscript. As Terri said, I like to cook. So I had a cookbook with stories in it that goes along. And she said, no. But I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you for your feedback. Dr. Terri, tell me this. Now, one of the things that we encouraged during the process was a pre-sale campaign. And so everybody reached out to their individual communities and friends of friends. And we either asked or we made them buy a copy. I'm not sure how that turned out. I do know a group of you guys got together and you started ordering the quantity that you needed for your pre-sale. What is the total count thus far, Dr. Terri? Do you have it?
1,450 books, you guys.
I love that. I so love that.
Yes.
So now that's 10 people with that total. And of course, everybody's total was a little different. It's not about the equal numbers as much as it is the equal participation. How does that feel, Dr. Terri?
Awesome. That let me know the word is getting out. It also let me know they're excited about their project. It's just really, really wonderful, y'all. It's so awesome because y'all know I don't stop until we get to the top, and to have everybody with me, everybody excited, and everybody just diving on in there, honey. We did that.
So, Dr. Terri, what kind of feedback? I don't know if one or two other people want to offer You've had people to buy the book. I'm pretty sure some people have actually read the book. Dr. Terri, have you gotten feedback? If you would, Dr. Terri, Miss Viney, tell us what kind of feedback you've gotten.
You know, I was in Dallas this weekend and I sold my book I got there I got there Friday, and I sold about 20 books Friday night. And Saturday, I had at least 4 people to come and tell me they cried over our stories. Some of their stories were our stories, were their stories, and they like our boldness. And Miss Dorothy, baby, I got so much feedback on your story. To God be the glory.
I know that's
all
right.
that you have written, because honey, at least 3 people mention of your chapter. And then they went on to say how they can identify in some areas. And then they went on to say how they saw God in it, the blessings of God, and how God came through with our prayers and our supplication.
That's
so
good.
That was just wonderful, because that's the whole object of having the book, is to
that's what it's all about. That's exactly what it was all about. Really, that's awesome. Okay, Miss. Now I keep wanting to mess up your name. It's Viney. Did I say right?
You got it. You said
I don't know why I second guess myself. Have you received any feedback about the books from your corner?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. My very first one was from my niece. It was her birthday, and I gave her book. She was the first one that had it in her hand. And she sent back to me, and I quote, "Girl, why am I ugly crying?" So she was so excited about, the whole book, and just, proud that she knew my mom and dad and my sister, who's mentioned in the book, would be very proud. And then a classmate that I grew up with, when she read it, she said, "I had no idea your mom died when you were 11, and we've known each other for 50 something years." And so just to hear the comments about people and blessing them, just to say, wow, look at what God can do. So it has been very excited to be able to brag on God.
I know that's right. Anybody else gotten any feedback? Miss Mary, Miss Dorothy, Miss Daisy, have any one of you gotten feedback from anyone who may have purchased the book from you directly?
Yes, I have received several outstanding remarks. Not only has the book been a blessing to
my coworkers, they were very, very, very ecstatic about reading it.
Okay, so Miss Mary said her co-workers were excited. Miss Daisy, you said you got a lot of great feedback from your corner of the world as well. What about you, Miss Dorothy? Anyone in particular stand out?
I've gotten feedback from several people. One in particular is one of my former parents. We developed a relationship over 3 years ago, the first time I had her son. And she was one of the first people to purchase the book from me. And it's like every chapter, as she's reading, she's reaching back out, and we're discussing the different parts that's touching her life. She's even told me, she says, "Yeah, my uncle started reading my book, and I told him that's okay. I'll get you a copy."
I know, because that's how books end up missing.
Yes.
My mom, and this is sidebar, I moved recently and she was at the house helping me unpack a while back. And so I had a box of books, and she was like, "Is this my book?" "No, mama, it is not your book." "I think I had this same." "No, mama, that's my book." And she'll go, "Well, here you got 2 of the same book." And I'm like, "Okay, I bought this one for you. You could take that one." And so, books will disappear if you loan them out. So they did right by getting them their own copy. So Dr. Terri, you published your first book. It went in 2024. We started in 23. We finished it in 24. It became an Amazon bestseller. You got this great idea. You invited friends along on the journey. And of course, we had some starts and stops because life happens, but it doesn't matter. We got it done. It was completed. And this book became an Amazon bestseller. How does it feel now to not only have another book with your name on it that's an Amazon bestseller, but to know that you invited friends and now they are not just authors, but Amazon bestselling authors? How does that feel, Dr. Terri?
I'm so full. When I decided to do this, God woke me up in my sleep, and he was telling me, and I was thinking about writing another book, and he said, "No, your time is not right now. I need you to open the doors to help people who normally wouldn't do it." He said, "I also want you to give them an opportunity, because most people can't pay $5,000 or $6,000 to write a book. So if you give them an opportunity, they'll get a chance to get the word out." He says it's all about getting the word out, and to have them actually trust me, to have them actually do it. to me, that's hot feeling. It's very, very hot feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful and so thankful that they trusted me to do this with me. And I'm very appreciative. And most of all, I have not had one book. The whole book, somebody has commented on it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it until she brought it to my attention. One lady came to me and said, I recommend it to my sister because we're grieving over my mom. She said, because there's an area in there about death got a sting or something. But she was talking about Deirdre, Ushery. She talked about losing her mom and her sister back to back.
Oh, wow.
Well, that helped in the grief area.
Yeah.
And everybody had an area to help in a different manner. We all had a story, but all the stories were different, but it all came to the same common denominator.
Yeah, the prayers, how prayer got you through. I think that's a beautiful thing. And that's one of the things I love about these types of projects, anthology projects, because when you have people come together under the common umbrella, everybody knew that the umbrella, the name of the book was The Whispering of the Righteous, how the prayers of the righteous availeth much. But each person's chapter was different, but it still pointed to the common denominator of the whispers, which are the prayers, and how prayer was integral in helping them get through whatever crisis that was. And so everybody did bring their own flavor to the table. No two stories were alike.
No.
And so when you have a book that's compiled in that manner, it's inevitable that everybody can benefit, because there's going to be a story that relates. And I want to say to all of you again, and for those who are co-authors that will be watching, is that I want to say thank you for being transparent and authentic. Because what comes from the heart touches the heart. A lot of times people want to make an impact, but they don't do it from a transparent or authentic place. They do it with a lot of flowery words. They want to be, they want to be seen and not heard. But when you are sincere and you put paper to pen, you heal in the process and you give others hope, and they heal as well. So how does it feel, Miss Mary, to be an Amazon best-selling author? How does it feel? You're muted, sweetheart.
Okay, it feels very good because I have a lot of relatives that live a little bit of everywhere, and when I sent an email, a text to them, they were like, "Okay." I mean, like every week, is it time? Is it time? So I sent off the books and stuff to them. So they've been reading and calling me. I didn't know that about Grandma. So it was a good feeling.
Thank you so much. All right, Miss Dorothy, what about you? You're not just an author. You're an Amazon best-selling author. What does that feel? Do you wake up in the morning different? Do you brush your teeth different? Has anything changed?
It's on my mind. Yes, it's very different. I'm excited about it. It has opened my mind to something that God had already been speaking to my heart about. And so to run out of the gate the first time, a bestseller, I can't wait for round 2.
I love it. Okay, Miss Dorothy, I hear you talking. All right, Daisy, what about you? You're an Amazon best-selling author. Do you tell people that at the grocery store, or is that just something you keep to yourself? Daisy?
Yes. For me, no, I don't keep it to myself, but it's very humbling. I love when other people are so ecstatic for me. That's what makes me feel like, oh wow, you did something, girl. You did something. No, I'm just grateful, and I'm humbled that God gave me the opportunity to experience this big excitement in my life, because I did not expect this. I did not.
Thank you so much. I love that, because sometimes we get involved and we go, okay, Terri said she wanted me to be a part of this event. Let me just go and do this, because I don't want her fussing at me later. I don't want her to be upset. I love her to pieces. I want to be there to support her. So sometimes we actually get involved in events. Well, let me just say I do. I get involved in things, not necessarily because I want to, but because someone asked and I have respect for them, or I don't want to disappoint them, or I want to be there for them like they have been there for me. Miss Viney, what has that been like for you? You're an Amazon bestseller. You're not only an insurance agent, you can have best-selling author slash insurance agent slash. What is that like?
Well, it's very humbling. I tell you, it's really humbling. And I guess I don't always just put that bestseller on there, when I'm telling people about it. But just the fact that I'm an author is
Yeah,
just overwhelming. And so, but for Miss Terry, she worked for us, to and pushed us to be bestsellers. And
yeah,
so it's been overwhelming. When I looked at it and saw that little logo on there, I was overwhelmed. Like, wow, that's just, it took me to another level. So it's very exciting, and everybody's just so happy, about it. And I look at people's eyes. I look at eyes to see what they're looking like when they look at
right,
it. And
right.
it has been very exciting and humbling for
That's
sure.
good. That's good. Thanks so much for that feedback. Let me tell you guys the significance of becoming an Amazon bestseller. Well, first I need to admit something. Dr. Terry and I knew like a week and a half or so before y'all did. And I said, don't tell them. Wait till you have your event at the house. And then, because I like building up suspense. And I knew you guys were getting together, those that were local. And so I said, this will be icing on the cake. And it took Dr. Terry. I was like, have you said anything? No, I haven't said anything, but I'm about to pop. So we knew about it in advance. It's a marketing campaign that we initiate. Not all of our clients choose to take advantage of it, but we put forth the effort. And here's the reason why, because when your book is identified as an Amazon bestseller, and you probably have noticed this if you shop on Amazon as much as I do. If you put something in the cart, if you select an item, oftentimes Amazon will put a message and say, people who other items that people bought that were similar to this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So,
Yes.
or they'll show you items that are similar. Well, when you are an Amazon bestseller, if someone goes on Amazon to buy a book on prayer, because your book is a book on prayer, it's possible that your book will be as a suggested book down below. So that's another way Amazon gives exposure to those authors who attain Amazon bestseller status. So I believe, honestly, that prayer changes things. I believe it's our secret weapon. I believe we should be armed with prayer. And so one way for me personally to know that you guys are Amazon bestsellers is that I know that anytime anyone goes on Amazon looking for a book on prayer, there's a strong possibility that your book will come up, and therefore your stories will be told over and over and over again. It's excellent that you've got people in your sphere of influence that have read your stories and given you awesome feedback, but imagine the impact that those who are perfect strangers, you're going to possibly make greater impact on people who don't even know who you are. Dr. Terri, listen, you were the force behind all of this, no doubt about it. How does it feel to be an Amazon bestseller again?
Just awesome. Just it pushes me to want to go further. Because every time I think it's my last book or I think this is it, by the time it comes out, God got something else for me to do. So it's just exciting. And as long as it's my season, I'm going to run with it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so here's a question I didn't give you all heads up on. I apologize. It just came to me, but it's worthy. Let's say you have a friend that's considering writing a book or who's been saying they needed to write a book, or, that conversation comes up. I know myself, and I'm sure probably you all have had people around you that say, such and such needs to write a book, or I've been thinking about writing a book. And if this was your first time, especially, what would you advise? What's one bit of advice you would give to that person? Not necessarily with the process, but would you tell them yes, go forward, or no, go forward? And if you say yes to the answer, if that's your answer, why? Miss Dorothy, what would be your response to that friend who was maybe Dr. Terry said, I'm doing another project and you need to be a part of it? Why would you say yes?
Well, she have asked, and for the moment, I've declined because God is pushing me in another direction, to step out on faith on my own.
Okay.
Because He's already given me a word that needs to get out.
Okay.
So, in conversations with anyone who's thinking about it or being questioned about it, I encourage them to move forward.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. The very first book that I was a part of was a co-author project. I was writing a book of my own, trying to get it published, and an invitation was extended to be a part of a co-author project. And I didn't want to do it because I'm working on my own thing. And my mentor said, I think you should go for it and do it. So I followed her instruction, and it became an international best-selling book. Now, here I was. I had no clue what I was I had no clue what I was doing, right? But I followed the instruction. Again, you just never know how doors might open just simply because you followed along. Miss Viney, what about you? If someone said they were wanting to publish a book, what would be your response?
I would definitely say go for it because you said something at the ribbon cutting last week, and I cannot quote it, but about leaving the legacy. And that is a good way for us to leave our legacy in writing. I
Yeah,
don't have children, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews and a lot of children that my husband and I helped to raise. And so that little, even just that little tidbit that I put in there was enough that made them say, Aunt Bonnie, I didn't know that about you.
yeah,
So I would definitely say go for it and
go
go for
for
it
it.
with your heart, as you said, versus trying to shield something. If God told you to say it, just say it and
That's
go
right.
for it and put it in
Yes,
writing and leave a legacy.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. Daisy, what about you? What would be your answer and why?
I'll most certainly say yes, and I will also tell them to basically just step out on faith because a lot of times I think that we keep things hidden within ourselves and they'll be very beneficial for other people. And so we have to just be able to just walk by faith and just stop holding back, I guess.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. Now, Miss Mary, because you are, an actress and all of that, you understand the power of words because you've been in stage plays, you've been a part of this book, and of course, you worked as an educator. So I don't doubt that your answer would be definitely to be a part of it. But why do you feel that would be something beneficial for anyone? If an opportunity was presented for them to be a part of a project like this one, why would you say yes, they should go forward?
I would say yes because you always want to step out on faith. And sometimes faith leads you to a better passage, a better experience in life, and doing it from your heart, you know.
I got you.
Hmm.
So the faith walk, leaving a legacy, stepping out
Yes,
because you get a chance. What happens is those gifts and talents that you maybe buried or that had become dormant are now given new life. Miss Dorothy
yes,
said she had a book she'd been thinking about writing, and now being a part of this project has given her the energy to move forward to do
Yes.
her own thing. Miss Viney said it's a legacy. And then Daisy and Miss Mary talked about how faith opens doors and
Mhm.
opportunities that you probably wouldn't even imagine. Dr. Terry, the last question is for you. Tell us, I know what, and don't say because I told you so. So why would you why would you suggest someone step out and tell their story and write their story?
Well, for one thing, my experience, it brought me through a lot of trauma. It helped me to understand things better. And when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you step out any way you know how, any way you can. And for
Wow.
me, I was tired of being sick and tired of carrying the trauma and the secrets and all the things that had happened to me. And the moment I got through with that book, things changed. I got
Yeah,
more confident. I felt better about myself. I learned to love myself more. Things I used to accept and tolerate, I don't do it anymore because I know my self worth now. So telling my story gave me a life.
that's good. That's
Awesome.
good. Oh, that's
Mhm.
really good. What I've learned in about 8 years now being in this space is that when you write your story, it can be healing. It's very cathartic. When you write your story, your confidence is strengthened. When you write your story, you become more courageous.
Yes.
When you write your story, you make a difference in the lives of people that either you know or may not ever know. That ties to the legacy, Miss Viney. We don't have kids, but your legacy is really the impact that you make. And
Mhm.
sometimes we have platforms where we might speak at church, at Mount Nebo Missionary Baptist Church of God in Christ Holiness Temple. Everybody at the church know you, and the sister churches that you facilitate, maybe have a relationship with. But your impact is so much bigger than just that community. And so when you take the messages and the experiences that you've lived and survived, and you place them in a book, they live beyond you. That's the
Mhm.
beautiful thing. And so the hope that you instilled in the person while you were alive still can give hope to people that you may not ever meet or ever come across or ever have an opportunity to connect with. And that's the beautiful thing about
Mhm.
the public, the think about the Bible.
Mhm.
It was written thousands and thousands of years ago, right? 66
Right.
books compiled together, and we are till this day being grateful. We're grateful for it, and we're growing from it, and we're becoming better versions of ourselves as a result of the fact that someone took the time and not just were illuminated by God and given us a message from God, but they put pen to paper so that people that thousands of years later can benefit from. That's the power of writing. That's the power of publishing. Dr. Terri, I appreciate you once again. Dr. Terri keeping me busy. You guys can secure a copy of the book. Now, if you know these beautiful ladies on the screen, you need to contact them first and ask them for a copy because they may have some reserves in their storage, in their arsenal. And secure your book directly from them so they can sign it for you and all of that. But if you are watching either live or the replay and you don't know either one of these women, feel free to go to Amazon and secure your copy because it is available on Amazon at this time. Dr. Terri, we're going to close out, but I want you to offer the last few words. What would you share to anyone that's watching today?
I just want them to be true to themselves. And if writing your story is what's going to help you to be true to yourself, please write your story. Everybody have a story, and everybody needs to hear your story. And a lot of times we used to hear the older people say, your test is your testimony. It can't be a testimony if you don't tell it.
That's good. That's really
So
good.
tell your testimony so
Yeah.
that somebody could be saved, that somebody could be free, and then somebody can learn to love themselves. Because when you're in bondage, you cannot love yourself.
That's good. That's really good, Dr. Terri. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for hanging out with me today in this space. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for trusting Dr. Terri enough with this assignment to do it and for trusting me in the process to guide you guys along the way. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's a pleasure getting to know you. And we've only just begun. I know that's words to a song. I'm not going to sing it, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. So as with any other week on Tuesdays, we always go live. We always share with you the authors that we've worked with and even other authors because we are very much an advocate of literacy. We want to celebrate the voices of others. Our platform is to amplify the voices of authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs. And the Conversations with Chosen Pen podcast is just one of the vehicles we use to do that. Thank you guys once again for joining us today. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday because we'll be back with another lovely face, another author. We're going to talk to authors through the end of the year, and we're going to kick off 2026 with entrepreneurs. So I'll share more information about that. But in the meantime, thanks again for being here. Thanks again for being in this space, for your support. Be sure to like, comment, and share. And don't forget, this book is available on Amazon. But if you know these ladies, if you know these co-authors, reach out to them individually and secure your copy today. Thanks again for joining us. You guys have a great day.
You too.